Today's episode is finally all about Dubsado. So if you're keen to hear about Dubsado and finally know exactly what it can do for you, then listen to today's episode and there will be more to come after this one. Plus, don't forget that there's a Dubsado DIY course launching in January. Hello, you're listening to the Courageous Goals podcast. This podcast is for high achieving, courageous women who want growth and the know-how to scale their business online. Running a business is a journey and a process. The more we learn in action, the more we succeed. If you're a woman in business, this is the podcast for you. Be in the 5% of businesses that make it. Let's get bold and create the life we desire. I'm bringing my passion to you through advice, coaching, inspiration, and support to help you create and design the life and business you want to live. I am a Dubsado expert, CPD certified in social media platforms, and a lover of admin systems and processes. I am an accredited ICF coach specialising in trauma and narcissism. My own coaching journey has supported my growth immensely, and I want to share those highlights with you to inspire and give you courage. Let's get intentional with our goals and make them happen. Let's get started. Hello, welcome to the Courageous Goals podcast this week. So I thought it was about time that I talked about Dubsado, as a lot of you know that I am a Dubsado expert. I absolutely love it and I 100% recommend it for those of you that are a creative business owner offering a service where you work one-to-one with your clients. Potentially also if you create a program where there might be up to 10 people that use it, or they can use it as a one-on-one basis, it's also very good for that as well. I work specifically more with coaches and set them up on Dubsado. But in addition, I have set up other people on Dubsado. So there are so many other service providers that can use it, such as content writers, website designers, photographers, anything like that, then Dubsado can really work for you. So let's start right back at the beginning. What is Dubsado? So Dubsado is an all-in-one management system that can really streamline your business and the amount of time that you spend on your admin tasks. So if you know your processes in business, how you onboard your clients and what happens like right from the beginning and what happens right at the end, then Dubsado would be great for you to get that all automated in your business. If you don't, then it really isn't difficult to kind of create that map. I've got a tool that I can share with you if you'd like to see that, which I'll add the link in at the bottom and you can download. But basically, it enables you to work out your processes with your clients so that when you speak to someone initially, you have a discovery call, you find out what it is that they need. And if they say yes, they'd like to go ahead and work with you, then you have a process in place in Dubsado where you know you might need to send them a contract, perhaps a questionnaire, an invoice for the work. You might have then discussed also, is there a payment plan that they need, or can they pay it all in one hit, or maybe 50-50, something like that, which you can then also set up in Dubsado and have that automated also. In addition, if you're a coach, then you might be working on a program where you have several sessions. So you can have a link that is set up perhaps every couple of weeks, or a link that's set up every month, so that it automatically sends this email to your client to say, now that you've had your recent session, you can now book your next session. There's lots of different ways that you can use Dubsado to make it work for you, but the onboarding process is so important to get that really streamlined and in place. So the things that you need to set up in Dubsado to really make it work for you is essentially all of the things that you need in the background. So obviously you need all of your forms created, and that would be things like a contract, a questionnaire, an email proposal, so something that you send over to your client where they choose the package that they're signing up to. In addition, when you have a discovery call with your potential clients, you will send them a link through Dubsado, which also sends them a form, and this is called a lead capture form. So it you can collate all of their details, like their name, email, telephone number, perhaps where they heard from you, so it could be social media, website, Google, something like that, and ask any initial questions that you might need answers ready for your discovery call. So they're the main master bits that you need set up. When you know your onboarding processes as well as your actual packages that you offer, you can then set up your packages in Dubsado, as well as any payment plans that you're happy to offer your clients. You can also set up any canned emails. So if you find yourself sending similar emails or the same emails to potential clients, or you send reminders to say you have an appointment coming up, or here's an invoice due, or something like that, you can have, there's a section called canned emails, and you can have all of these where you create them. It's like a master copy of everything. And then when it's time to send an invoice or time to send a booking link or something like that, it will pull through the canned email and send those links automatically to your clients. Now, the best part of Dubsado is that you can use workflows. Now, this is for those of you that really, really, really have your system and your processes all in place. And this is the bit that I really love working on. You might be able to hear it in my voice. So in Dubsado, you need to get everything all set up. So your master forms, your master templates, your master schedulers, your emails, absolutely everything. And then when you know your processes, like I was talking earlier, you have the discovery call, then you might send them a contract, invoice, booking links, anything like that. Once you have your processes and you know how you onboard your clients, you can then really dive into your workflows. And your workflow tells Dubsado what to do on your behalf, so that you don't have to sit there, play around with admin, play around with your inbox and writing out the same email that you send a million times. And you can get these all in place. So you can have things like, so Dubsado, when client A signs the contract, you can send a invoice to the client on this day. Once that is done, you can then send them the scheduler link to book their first session. And there's lots of different things that take place, but also one of the best things that I love about the workflow is that in Dubsado, you'll find that you spend majority of your time in the projects section, because that is the place where all of your projects are managed, whether they are past projects, current projects, or projects that might be coming up with potential clients. So in your workflow, you can also have that kind of working in your workflow for you. So you can change the project status of each client. And so if someone is, they've just had a discovery call. So at the moment, they might come under a status where they've had a discovery call, but nothing is actually happening at the moment because they're thinking about a package, but they haven't quite signed up. Then you might get an email from them and they'd say, actually, Leanne, I'd love to sign up with you. What's next? So then you can action a workflow by sending them a proposal or something like that. As you send them a proposal, you can then change their project status to onboarding, which means they are slowly becoming a client. Once the contract is then signed, you could then move them over to an active client. And that's where you will really know how your projects work and what stages they are at, because if they are an active client, then that means that you are working with them right now on whatever package it is, but you are working with them. If they are onboarding, they are becoming a client, but they're not actually a client. So there's not much to do for them at the moment. You're probably waiting on them for a signed contract or an invoice to be paid or something like that. In addition, it works in the other way, so that when you've finished with a client, you can then also change their project status to offboarding. You might want to send them some feedback form or something like that. And once that's then completed, their project status will become complete, and then potentially you could archive the project. Now, when you archive, it's all still there, don't worry. Your project then gets saved to your client, which is then found in the utilities address book. So it's not gone completely, it's just archived in the background and it's taken off your projects page, because ideally your projects page will be managed by those that are potentially clients, current clients, or those that are offboarding. So the ones that you've worked with in the past are still there, they're just hidden in the address book, which is like your CRM. So as you can tell, Dubsado really can work for you if you know how to use it. I know when I first looked at Dubsado, I was wowed by it, but at the same time, I was so overwhelmed and I was just like, wow, what is this really amazing tool that can do all of these things? And yeah, I had no idea. I just knew it was really good. I'd heard lots of people talk about it. And yeah, it just looked amazing. And then I ended up signing up to someone called Kate, who helped me work through my Dubsado to see what I could do with it. And ever since then, I have absolutely loved getting to know Dubsado and setting things up and then completely revamping it and changing it all. So the way I was using it last year isn't the same as to the way I use it now. So it really, really has changed. But there's ever changes, like always happening. There's always new things that are going on. At the moment, we've had new forms that have just been published. I think that was about a couple of months ago. But as of January 31st, I think it is, the new forms will be the only forms that you can use. So you won't be able to use the Dubsado forms. So they're more user friendly basically, and they've got extra elements in there where you can add like spacers and dividers. There's also like a color block setting in the background now, which wasn't there before. So initially I was using Canva templates to help my forms look beautiful and pretty and whatever, which you still can use. But now in Dubsado you can actually just do more with your form elements. So it really is stepping into a new level. It's looking brilliant. And I also hear that there's a Dubsado app coming, which is really exciting. I love that. You can use it on your phone on the browser and it still works fine, but I'm guessing an app would be more user friendly. So potentially if there's something you're waiting on and you happen to check your phone, your Dubsado later on in the day, it will be really useful for that going forward. So you can sign up to Dubsado for free. Before you add any clients in, I think you have up to 3 clients where you can play around with Dubsado, set up everything that you feel you need. There's a pro version as well now, which I have, and it's so worthwhile because of the workflows. So that's totally up to you. So you've got the starter package, but you've got the premier package. It just depends what you want to use it for. It also connects with other software. So I have mine connected to Xero as well for my accounting purposes, as well as Active Campaign, as well as Stripe for payments, which you don't have to use. You can just have people pay you through your bank if you don't want to use Stripe or PayPal or something like that. And then you can also use it even further. So you use Zapier as a middleman, and Zapier will then connect to other places. So when I get a new client, I tend to add a new client folder in my Google Drive, and Zapier allows me to do that because it works together. But yes, Dubsado, as a lot of you will probably know, I talk about Dubsado a lot. I highly recommend it. And for those of you that follow me, I do a Dubsado Ask Me Anything on Wednesdays, both on social media, in my stories, and also in my Facebook group. That's also in the link. So I do that in both places. So if you've got any questions about Dubsado, then I'm happy to help and support you. If you need help setting up Dubsado, that's also what I currently do. So I help you with a done for you package and a done with you package. And in addition, at the moment, I am creating a Dubsado course, which is a DIY course where you can really go ahead and set up everything yourself, but just with a course on hand to help you work through each section so that you know you're doing it correctly. And again, if you need extra support, then obviously if you've bought the course, which will be launching in January, then you can join us in our Facebook group and ask me the questions that you need on a Wednesday. And yeah, so I am here if you have any questions about Dubsado. So over the next few episodes, I'm going to be talking about Dubsado a little bit more in each area. This was just a quick overview so that you know a little bit about Dubsado, who it is for and how it can work for you. Over the next few episodes, I will be diving into specific areas to really help you in each area. And I just hope that they will be useful. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode and the fact that I finally got round to recording what Dubsado is all about. Yeah, this is episode number 22 and it's taken me all this time to finally talk about Dubsado. However, I have been thoroughly enjoying this podcast, this stage where I'm at with creating everything, and it's working really, really well. So yes, if you've got any questions, feel free to let me know. Head over to one of the social media platforms and you can ask away, or feel free to contact me through my website, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much for listening to the Courageous Goals podcast. I really hope you've enjoyed today's episode and taken something of value for you. If you'd love more advice, coaching, inspiration and support, head on over to join many other courageous women in business in our free community group over on Facebook. We'd love to welcome you. You can also find free useful resources over on the website at leannebrown.com/resources. Right, that's all for this week. I look forward to sharing another episode with you next week.